Okay, let's get started. Normally we would start by making our horizon line and then creating a vanishing point. But for this project, we're going to do it a little bit different. Line up your ruler the best you can. It's not going to reach the edges, and see if you can line up the edge of your ruler from one corner to the next. It's okay if it's not going to reach, and if it's not perfect. I'm going to drag my pencil along my ruler, and you want to do this lightly because these are guidelines. They are not, we are going to be erasing these. I'm not going to worry about that one there. Now turn it the other way. Line up the corners the best you can. Go ahead and lightly drag your pencil across. And then you're going to want to extend this one and this one. And notice it doesn't fit perfectly. That's fine. Okay. Now this is our vanishing point right here. You don't really need to draw a dot there because it's already been created. Now we're going to make a horizon line, which is going to be horizontal to the bottom of our paper. So you could start at the bottom of your paper, line up your ruler, and then slowly push it up to keep it as horizontal as possible. And then again, drag your pencil across, making sure to hold this down so it doesn't move, and go all the way across. Also, again, keep this light because we need to erase these. Okay, we're going to move over to our permanent marker. So the first thing we're going to do is draw our first building right here. What we're going to do is this is going to be the tops of our buildings, this is going to be the bottom of our building, and then this over here will be the edge of our road and sidewalk towards the water. To do the first building, we're going to come over a little bit from the edge, and you're going to start right at that guideline and then draw a vertical line straight down. So I'm going to start at my guideline here, and then the best you can, we're just going to freehand it. Get my pen to work. Notice that I'm going slow, taking my time, and trying to keep it parallel with this edge. Now we're going to do the side of our building. Actually, let's do the front. We're going to do the front. Start at that guideline right here, right on top of that pencil line. You're going to follow it a little ways and then stop. I don't know, mine's like almost 3 fingers. Maybe I'll make it a little bit more. From here, from this point, we're going to go vertical straight down, just like this one. So it's parallel with the edge. So start here, and we're going to go straight down. Notice I move my whole arm when I do this. I'm not just moving my hand. I pull my whole arm. Now we're going to draw. Actually, we're going to start from the vanishing point and follow this whole line all the way to the edge. And we're going to do the same thing for this side as well. And a lot of times I like to turn my paper so that I'm dragging towards my body. It's much easier. I can get a straighter line that way if I'm pulling. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do the side of our building. This is the front of our building facing the road, and then we'll do the side. So go back to this point, and you're going to draw a horizontal line straight across, and it's going to match the top of your paper. So again, you can either turn your page and then draw a straight line this way, which is probably the easiest. I will try it this way. straight across. And it should follow and match. Go down to the bottom of the front of your building. Same thing. You're going to draw a horizontal line here. Straight across. Now we have the front of our building and the side of our building. Okay, let's go ahead and do a door, a second story window, and a third story window. So let's decide how tall our door is. Maybe about right here. Go over from the edge a little bit, and then you're going to draw another vertical line parallel to the side of your building. We're going to do this first window set and door set a little differently. I'm going to go up here to the second level. So this is about my second level. I'm going to draw a vertical line. I'm going to leave a little space above that door. And then I'm going to make another vertical line, come down from the top a little bit, and stop about there. So I have a vertical space, vertical, and then like a 2-finger space on 1-finger space. Okay, put your permanent marker away. We need to draw a few more guidelines so that everything is in perspective and everything, all of our lines go to the vanishing point. So from here, with your pencil, turn your paper. We are going to find at the top of this is our top of our door. Put your pencil here, line up your ruler, and then move your ruler until it lines up with the vanishing point. I like to put my pencil here and make sure it touches, and come back and make sure these are touching perfect. From here, draw a line all the way to the vanishing point, making it nice and light. I'm barely pressing down. Now I have the top of my door. You can see it here. This is going to be the top of my door. We're going to do that for each of the other spots. So the bottom of the second floor window, start right there, swing my ruler over so it goes to the vanishing point, and then draw a nice light line for a guideline. And then the next one, the top of that window, go all the way to the vanishing point. I'm barely pressing. And for the third floor window, line up the bottom of the window to the vanishing point, nice and light. And our last one. Okay. Now we have our top floor window, our second floor window, and our door. We can go ahead and put our pencil away and use our permanent marker again. We're going to use these guidelines for the first floor of each building, the second floor of each building, and the third floor of each building. Okay, let's have some fun making some doors and windows. All right, for the top of our door, we're going to come over a little ways. This is the top of our door. And then from here, you're going to make a vertical line. Remember, straight up and down, following the edge of your building. And let's make a line in the middle of our door. So there's 2 of them. And then we can make some handles. And then we're going to do the second floor windows. So I'm going to line my windows up with the side of my door. So I'm going to come follow my guideline. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see. Follow my guideline over and then make a vertical line straight up and down. Same thing for the third floor, all the way across. A vertical line straight up and down, and then follow that guideline. So from here we can make our windows look a little bit better. Let's add some trim. So add a couple little lines really close to the edge. And I'm going to make some lines on the top. It's okay if they're not perfect. Do the same up here. Gives it a little window frame, kind of something else to color. Now I'm going to split these windows in half. So I am going to start at the top. Remember, you're making straight lines. So a vertical line. There's the split. And the same one there. Perfect. Okay. Now I left a little space here above my door. If you don't have it, that's fine. But I'm going to add a little tiny window to the top of this one. So I'm going to make a little vertical line here. And then I'm going to like kind of follow this guideline here, and it's going to be at a slight angle. And then the same thing for the top of this window. I'm going to have it come over like that. And then again, add some trim. I'm not going to worry about the middle line there. I'm just going to leave it blank. Now we're going to put some windows on the side of our building. When the windows are facing us, there is no angle at the top. They don't go to the vanishing point. They're just horizontal and vertical lines. So I'm going to start at this bottom window. I'm going to make it match the top of this window, and then it's going to come down, not all the way to the ground. So I'm going to make a vertical line here. And then for the top of the window, it is straight across. It's horizontal, like that. Now again, I'm going to make a window frame. And because the window keeps going across, I'm going to make one of these lines here, but make it closer to the edge, like that. Same thing for the second floor. I'm going to match the top of this window. Make a vertical line straight up and down, and then make a horizontal line. And again, make a window frame and match the middle of that window. And then the third floor. Same thing, a vertical line, horizontal to match the top of your building. And give it a frame. And notice that my lines are not perfect. Kind of gives it some character. Okay, there's our first building. All right, next, let's do our second building. So our second building, we are going to come over from this building a little ways. On the guideline, that top guideline, I'm going to draw a vertical line straight up and down. I'm going to make the top of the building. I'm going to follow the guideline a little ways across and then stop. And from here, straight up and down vertical line. Now we need to make the side of the building like we did here. So we're going to go from the corner and make a horizontal line straight across. And then the bottom of our building, from here, straight across. Almost looks like there's a little alleyway in here. Okay, again, we're going to do our doors for this one. Let's say this one has a curved door. If you'd rather it be rectangular, you can do the same thing you did here. You can even put two separate doors. I'm going to make a curved door for this one. I'm going to give it a frame. And notice I stopped the top of my door at the top of this door because they're all the same height. And I'm going to make this one also have a split so you could open it twice, but we'll do circles. All right, next I'm going to do a big circle or big half a circle window here on the second floor. And I'm going to give it a bigger window sill here and a picture frame. I think on the third floor, you can add any type of windows you want, but I think I'm going to add a circle. You could add a circle window, or you could add another one of these kind of windows. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to add 2 half circle windows. So I'm going to do one here, straight up and down, and then start to arch. Follow the bottom line. And another one is going to arch. And it stops at that guideline at the top. And then maybe I'll make one vertical piece in here. It's a pretty big window. Now I'm going to make my windows on the side, and I think since this whole house has all these little curved windows, we'll do curved windows on the side. So over here, my window is going to come up as high as this one. So I'm going to make it a little bit taller. So I'm going to start with a horizontal line for the bottom. Remember, it's horizontal and it matches the bottom of the building. And then this one's going to come up and come up to about the same height as this window. And down. I'll give it a windowsill, and then I think I'm going to give this 1, 2, 3. All right, next I'm going to do another one here. I'm going to follow that guideline at an angle. Oops. Nope. It should be horizontal. Fix that. And we're going to go up to the top of this window here to our guideline. And same 1, 2, 3, horizontal. All right, let me do this one again. This one needs to be a horizontal line and then an arch. And let's do 1, 2. Now for here, I'm going to put these same window grids in, but I'm going to do them at an angle because this is our guideline. Here, they're angled. So I'm going to do an angle line, like that, and then do a vertical. There we go. Okay. And let's do one more building. So again, find the top. These lines are getting really close together. So find the top line, our top guideline, move over, and then I'm going to draw on the top of my guideline, make a vertical line here, straight up and down, another vertical line here. Now we need to make the side of our building right here. Go to the top and make a horizontal line straight across. And then again at the bottom, right here, it starts to get confusing because all these lines are here. Go ahead and go straight across, horizontal with the bottom. All right, and lastly, we're going to make some doors here. I'm going to make 2 doors, like there's 2 buildings, because this building looks really wide now. I'm going to make vertical line, follow the top of the door a little ways, and it's going to follow that guideline, and then I'm going to make a horizontal or a vertical line. Then another vertical line, follow the guide, and then a vertical. So now it has 2 doors. Maybe there's 2 businesses here. All right, you can see where our second story windows are. They're getting a lot smaller because they're farther away from us. So finding the top of your windows, make your vertical lines. And then since this is like 2 businesses, I'll make these little windows. Follow the guidelines on the bottom and the top. They angle, and then vertical. And then again, it's going to be a vertical line, angle, vertical. Oof, these are getting tiny. I might not put window frames around because it's so tiny now. Let's do the 3rd floor window. I'm going to go vertical, follow the top of my guidelines. Here's my guideline for the windows. And then follow the guide. Vertical, follow the guidelines, vertical. All right, let's make the windows on the side of the building. Ignore these lines. If it's easier for you, I would erase those lines right there so it doesn't confuse you. All right, so I'm gonna do the second floor first. So here's my second floor window. I'm gonna do a horizontal line for the bottom of the window. Actually, I'm gonna make it a big window. It's gonna go over more. And then I'm going to go up to the top of this corner. So vertical, and then horizontal. And then the next level, I'm gonna make a horizontal, vertical, horizontal. You could draw some lines in here if you wanted. And let's do one more window on the side. Remember, the windows don't come all the way down to the ground. So I'm going to come up a little bit, make a horizontal line. And I'm gonna make this one taller. And then it's horizontal. And I'll make another one. Maybe up here, I'm gonna add 2 little windows. Oh, okay. All right, our buildings are done. You can add all kinds of things in here. Maybe you want to make this a little, someone has a plant in their window. There's all kinds of things that you could add. All right, next, we are going to do our sidewalk. So from your vanishing point, we are going to create a line that goes from the vanishing point and goes out a diagonal. So I'm going to start here, and it's going to stay pretty close, and it's just going to start to angle. Like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. If you want to, you can turn your paper, and you could use your ruler. You could hold this at your vanishing point and then draw a line this way, if you'd rather do that. It's a little straighter. Okay. This is our sidewalk, this is our sidewalk, and here's our road. What we're gonna do next is make a little fence that's right here. So when we do that fence, we are going to draw 2 more lines that go from the vanishing point out. So we're gonna do this line here. It's almost exactly the same as the one below. This is going to be one of the wires on top of the fence. I'm going to go from the vanishing point and keep this one really, really close. And there's my second wire. That's going to be on top of our fence. So it's similar to this. Okay. Now we're going to make our fence posts. And just like our buildings, everything is vertical, so straight up and down. I think the easiest way to start it is making a little tiny lines that are vertical back here. Now let's start here. So I'm going to draw a vertical line straight up and down, matching the side of your paper. I'm going to go above the wires. I'm going to go straight up and down vertical right to the sidewalk. I will make a horizontal line, even with the bottom of the paper, and then straight down to the sidewalk. Now go ahead and move over a little bit. I don't know, let's say 2 fingers or so. You're going to make another vertical line straight up and down. Go above the wire, horizontal, and then vertical. And then do it again, go over a little ways, vertical, horizontal, vertical, no angles. This next one, I'm going to start getting them, they need to start getting closer together. So I'm going to make maybe 1 finger, vertical. I'm going to go horizontal this way. And notice they're starting to get more narrow. So this one's going to be a little closer. Vertical, horizontal, vertical. And again, more narrow as you go. Vertical, horizontal, vertical. It's getting thinner, each post. Vertical, horizontal, vertical. Vertical, horizontal, vertical. Now I'm getting pretty far away. I'm going to start making them almost just, I'll make these two lines. They're getting closer together. You almost can't even tell there's two. Now I'm just going to make a single line up. Little vertical, vertical, vertical. See how tiny and close together they become. And it really gives the illusion that you can walk into this picture and walk forever. Okay, now there's usually little lines and saw marks in the sidewalks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the bottom of a post, and we are going to make a horizontal line that follows the bottom of your paper straight across. Go to the next one, horizontal. This one is hard for me to do this direction, so I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to make these, now they're a vertical line, go from the bottom of the post, and it's going to be vertical. Bottom of the post, straight across, straight down. Do it for each one, and you will notice as they go farther away, they get closer together, which gives the illusion that this sidewalk goes on forever. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Here's what I would do. You can do them, you can match them or do them on your own. I like to match them. So what I'm going to do is turn my paper, and I'm not pressing down, but I'm going to use this as a guideline. I'm going to skip, I'm going to pull my arm all the way across, and then when I reach the sidewalk, drop it down and make a line. Use this as a guide, pull my hand, keep pulling it straight across. When I get to my sidewalk, make my line. And I'll make the next one. Oh, it matches. Straight across, and I'm pulling my whole arm like this. I'm not moving my hand. This stays locked in. Wow, they match. I did not plan that. Okay. Now from here, I am going to add a sun to mine, maybe some clouds and some birds. And you can add anything else that you would like. If you'd like to add a road line, you can. Here is how I would do it. Let's do a road line. I would use your pencil. This is going to be helpful for creating this. Starting at your vanishing point, put your ruler up against that. Kind of find where center is going to be. Maybe like here. Maybe this is how wide my lines are going to be for like the little yellow lines down the middle of the road. So for my vanishing point, I'm holding my ruler up against it. Then I'm going to twist it until I hit one of my little guide marks. So from here, making sure that this doesn't move, making sure I'm at my vanishing point, I'm going to draw a light line again. And then the same thing. I put my pencil here, move this to the vanishing point, and I'm going to make a guideline right there. Okay, this is going to be our middle of our road. You can leave it like that and make that a solid line, or you can make it a dashed line. So I'm going to make mine a dashed line. So what I'm going to do is, remember, horizontal with the bottom. I'm going to start here. Make a horizontal line. And then I'm going to go up a little ways on my guidelines and then horizontal. And then skip a little ways, make a horizontal. Follow my guidelines about the same length as that one. I mean vertical, or follow the guidelines, and then a horizontal. Skip up a bit, horizontal, follow the guidelines, about the same length. Just like these were getting thinner, these are going to get narrower, not as long. Horizontal, horizontal. Oops, that one's kind of long. Horizontal. You're going to get a little shorter. Horizontal, follow the guidelines. Horizontal, follow the guidelines. Horizontal, follow the guidelines. And then when you get here, they almost disappear. So they get smaller, they get shorter, and they get thinner. That looks cool. Okay, next we're going to do a sun. If you decide to do a sunset, you can. You could make a sun right here. I guess you could make it over here. It doesn't matter. Where should I put my sun? I'll put it right in the middle. What the heck? Now you can, if you choose to, if you'd rather do like a guideline, because your sun is setting, with your pencil first. Again, I have to turn my paper. So from this is my horizon line. From my horizon line, I'm going to make my sun. We are not going to draw this line here, because when we color your water and your sky, they're going to kind of just naturally meet. We don't want a hard edge there. You could put a line over here if you want, or you could even put in some trees. I should have put a tree in. What do you put a tree in here? I'm going to draw it with a pencil first, because this is a 3-story building. That's a very tall building. So I'm going to start my tree out here into this area. Maybe I'm only going to see one side of the tree trunk. It's going to be very small. If I made it really big, that would be a humongous tree. I could make some here too, but I don't really have space. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, from here we can go ahead and color it. Maybe I'll add some birds. For this picture, I decided to draw clouds. If I were to do this again, I would not add the clouds, because I used watercolor to paint the sky and the water, and it was very difficult to paint around these. So I would keep them out unless you know that you really want to have clouds in your picture. Okay. Now it is time to I'm going to sign the front. I'm going to put 2025. And then it's time to color. I forgot one step. It is not time to color. What we're going to want to do is erase our guidelines. So remember, hold your hand and erase in between your fingers so that you don't rip your paper. You can leave this line here with pencil so you know where the sky and the ground meet. Oh, this looks so cool. Notice when I get to the edges, I don't go back and forth. I just go away from the edge, like towards the edge, I should say. So it doesn't do that. Oh, that's pretty good. And yes, I'll leave that line there so I know where to make the difference between my water and sky. You could color all of this with colored pencil, and then you could use watercolor if you wanted, if for the sky and the water and the sun. That's a possibility. I am going to add this line right here, this horizontal horizon line, just on that side over there. Now we're ready for color.